Hey guys, so Bitcoin has been on a tear for the past 6 months or so, where the price of one Bitcoin has gone from around $5,000 back in March when the market crash happened to now being worth almost $19,000. The growth has been pretty rapid and consistent over this time period, and there are many new catalysts that have contributed to this insane price growth. So everyone probably remembers the Bitcoin bull run that happened back in 2017, where the price of one Bitcoin went from under $1,000 in March of 2017 all the way up to the all-time high of just under $20,000 on the 15th of December. Retail investors like you and me had a large part to do with this growth that happened through word of mouth and fear of missing out. However, many people believe that this 2020 bull run is very different from the one that happened in 2017 and will be sustained for a longer period of time without the sharp sell-off that happened back in 2017 and 2018. So in today's video, I want to talk about why I believe that Bitcoin is a valuable asset to hold, why I believe that it will continue to go up in the future, and also why I personally believe that Bitcoin should be part of everybody's portfolio, even if it is just a small amount. If you do enjoy this video and learn something from it, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like, as it really does help me out. Also remember to subscribe if you do want to see more videos similar to this in the future. And apart from that, let's get right into it. So why is Bitcoin valuable? So first of all, it is important to bear in mind that governments around the world can print money whenever they want, and there is no real cap on how much money that can be pumped into the economy every single year. With the current worldwide pandemic that's taken place, new money is getting printed on a very large scale. In fact, central banks across the world are injecting $1.2 billion worth of fiat currency into the global economy every single hour. In the US alone, 22% of all of the US dollars in existence were printed in this year of 2020. On the other hand, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in existence. This means that there is a finite amount of Bitcoin in the world, and no government or individual can just decide to create more out of thin air. This means that Bitcoin is a finite resource that you can rely on to not be devalued over time through inflation. So new Bitcoin is distributed to what is called Bitcoin miners. Now these miners complete complex calculations using computer power in order to validate Bitcoin transactions on the blockchain. In exchange for the work that they do, miners receive a transaction fee paid in Bitcoin, as well as a small amount of brand new Bitcoin. The new Bitcoin reward that miners receive, and therefore the amount of new Bitcoin being generated every day, is halved every 4 years, which is called a Bitcoin halving. The third ever Bitcoin halving took place in May 2020, so not too long ago, which now means that 6.25 Bitcoin are mined per block on the blockchain, and this does equate to 900 new Bitcoin being generated per day. In 4 years' time, this will get halved again to 3.125 Bitcoin per block and around 450 new Bitcoin per day, and so on, until eventually the 21 million Bitcoins have been mined and there will be no more that gets added. So there are currently just over 18.5 million Bitcoins that have been mined, with just under 2.5 million left to mine. However, due to the constant halving every 4 years, the last ever Bitcoin that will be mined will be in the year 2140. Another thing to note is that a large number of Bitcoins are thought to be lost or unrecoverable. So years ago, when Bitcoin was worth pennies, people were not careful with keeping their Bitcoin safe. This means that passwords have been lost and wallets and hard drives have been destroyed, meaning that a large amount of Bitcoin has been removed from existence forever. While nobody knows exactly how many Bitcoin have been lost, estimates do tend to range from between 3 and 4 million in total lost Bitcoin. And this obviously contributes to increased scarcity, as there are now even less Bitcoins that are available in circulation. So Bitcoin is often referred to as digital gold, and I would agree with this, except I believe that Bitcoin is better than gold in several important ways. Bitcoin is a lot easier to store and can also be infinitely divisible. Gold has to be stored in bars or coins in a physical location such as a bank vault and cannot be split up easily. You can't really use a bar of gold to pay for anything because you can't just chop it up into pieces to pay for the exact amount that you want to. And also, as I've already mentioned, Bitcoin has a finite supply of 21 million Bitcoin, and everyone will know exactly how much new Bitcoin will be mined every year based on the current miner rewards. While you can argue that there is a finite supply of gold as well, nobody really does know how much more gold there is left to mine in the ground. In addition to this, if the price of gold suddenly increases quite a lot, then gold miners can increase their production and pump out more gold onto the market to capitalize on these gains that they're going to make. With Bitcoin, this just cannot happen, as you cannot just pump out more Bitcoin at a faster rate. So now I want to talk about why Bitcoin will continue to rise in my own opinion, and therefore why I believe that everyone should allocate a portion of their portfolio to Bitcoin. So back in 2017, because it was mainly retail investors who were driving the price of Bitcoin up, many of these investors had relatively weak hands and panicked once they started to see that Bitcoin was dropping in price. Now, this is definitely understandable because many people had invested a lot of their savings in the hope of making a quick profit. But when a sell-off starts to happen, these investors don't really want to keep holding their Bitcoin and just want to get out of the position that they have in Bitcoin and take their money back. This time around, however, the price is mainly being driven up by corporate and institutional buying. There are still plenty of retail investors who are buying Bitcoin as well, but the volume is a lot lower compared to the large amount of Bitcoin being bought up by the institutional big dogs, as you call them. And the thing with institutional buyers is that they are much more long-term investors who will generally be holding their positions for many years to come. They also have much stronger hands and are therefore much less likely to sell off all of their Bitcoin on the first sign of a dip in the market. So MicroStrategy's chief executive, Michael Saylor, is a big advocate for Bitcoin, and he has used $425 million of the company's cash to purchase 38,250 Bitcoin. PayPal and Square, who are the company that own Cash App, have also recently started to allow their users to buy, hold and sell Bitcoin using their platforms. Now this is pretty big because it is a big step towards increasing the adoption of Bitcoin amongst the general public. PayPal and Cash App have millions of users between them, and giving these users the option to dabble in Bitcoin is great for spreading the awareness of the currency. As a result of this, both of these companies have been buying up Bitcoin on a regular basis. To further show the increase in Bitcoin adoption, we can take a look at the number of open Bitcoin wallets. So back in 2015, there were 5.5 million open wallets, whereas in 2020, right now, there are now 57 million open wallets. Even just looking back in the year 2019, there was 44.8 million open wallets, so that is a 12 million increase in open wallets over just the past year. And then finally, fiat currency continues to lose value every single year as inflation across the world increases. Pretty much every year, inflation does happen, which means that your $1,000 in your bank is now worth less because it has less purchasing power. So not even 100 years ago, in the year 1938, an average house in the US costed $3,900 and the average yearly income was $1,731. Now, if you compare that to today's prices and today's salary, that is quite a scary comparison to look at. So now I just want to touch a little bit on how to buy and store your Bitcoin. So the best place to buy Bitcoin from is a cryptocurrency exchange. Now, some of the most popular ones to use are Binance, Coinbase and Kraken, just to name a few. You simply deposit your fiat money to your account and then buy Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency that you want. So personally, I use Coinbase to buy my Bitcoin, and I would recommend it to other people as well because it's always quite simple and straightforward for me to use, and I've never had any problems with them. If you would like $10 of free Bitcoin on Coinbase, then there is a link in the description, which is my Coinbase referral link. All you need to do is click the link and sign up and make a deposit, and you will earn $10 of free Bitcoin. I will also get $10 of free Bitcoin as well, so you'll be helping me out by doing that as well. So once you've bought your Bitcoin, you can then leave your Bitcoin in your exchange wallet if you wish to do so. While this is not a bad idea, it is advised that you move your Bitcoin over to your own hardware wallet so that it is off the exchange. This is especially a good idea if you have a large position in Bitcoin. So this just means that you will fully own your own Bitcoin on your own device and will allow you to store your Bitcoin offline where it cannot be hijacked as easily. So if you use an online exchange to store your Bitcoin, then this means that there is always a little bit of a small risk of the exchange you are using stealing your Bitcoin if they become corrupt, getting their own Bitcoin reserve supply hacked and losing your Bitcoin for you, or them suffering a data breach that could result in your account getting hacked and therefore you losing your Bitcoin. Now all of this obviously has quite a low chance of happening, but it is an extra precaution to take, and it is quite a good idea to move your Bitcoin onto a hardware wallet. So that is all for today's video, guys. I'd just like to remind everyone that this video is for purely entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and that this video is not financial advice at all. This video is based purely on my own research and my own opinions, and before you make any purchase into an investment, you should definitely do your own research into it. Apart from that, be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video, as that also does help me out a lot. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos similar to this in the future. Also remember to leave a comment, let me know what you think about Bitcoin and whether you're going to be buying some in the future. And apart from that, guys, thanks a lot for watching.